Drugs cheats is this. It doesn't make you a better fighter. I boxed 3 drug cheats, beat 2 of them, drew with 1 of them. It doesn't make you a better fighter. So you take your gear for whatever reason. It doesn't make you technically better. It doesn't make you throw a better jab.
So Wardley showed his limitations and his lack of pedigree, and he was very crude with that right hand over the right hand attack, but he showed so much heart and guts and desire. He just kept going for it. He was never going to quit, was he? He was never going to turn around and fold or take a knee and quit.
I'm hearing that UCAD are going to ask VADA for the report.
That has happened.
Oh, it hasn't?
Yeah.
And the sampling. So if they get that, then they will take it.
Talk so much crap, you know, talk so much stuff. And when he comes, he gets the opportunity to fight. And then he go takes his drug. Well, what did he... Well, he drank contaminated water, I bet you money. We can't wait for the...
I genuinely think he took way too much punishment, and that's... I mean, that was so severe. If I were him, I'd never fight again.
Just days after the brutal war between Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois, shocking reports surrounding a failed PED test sent the boxing world into meltdown. The controversy exploded across social media, and now even Frank Warren is reacting publicly, admitting the entire situation has turned into an absolute nightmare for boxing.
It's just been a complete nightmare. It's been, as I say, been badly handled, and it's not done boxing or anyone else involved in it any favours. I mean, no favours at all. It's just ridiculous.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn gave his thoughts on the Daniel Dubois situation and made it clear that any boxer caught knowingly cheating should be banned from the sport for good. However, he stopped short of fully accusing Dubois, saying he does not believe Daniel intentionally cheated.
I believe that any fighter that has knowingly cheated in a sport of boxing should never be allowed to fight again. Now, I do not believe that he is one of them.
Frank Warren then addressed the growing pressure around Daniel Dubois and admitted that testing around him will now be even stricter after the controversy. With fans questioning everything after the Fabio Wardley fight, many believe Daniel Dubois will now be under a microscope every single time he steps into the ring.
Any more testing for this fight?
He will be tested, like every boxer on the card will be tested. And I'm sure they're going to test him a bit more, because that would be the natural reaction. I'm sure of that, and he knows that better than anybody. But every boxer will be tested. It's a high-profile card, and the Border Control will be all over it. It's not just VADA, they're also tested by UCAD.
Meanwhile, Derek Chisora completely ripped into Daniel Dubois while reacting to the failed PED controversy after the Fabio Wardley fight. Chisora mocked the possible excuses and made it clear he is tired of hearing fighters blame contaminated products whenever they get caught. His reaction reflects what many boxing fans are now feeling online, with people questioning whether Fabio Wardley stepped into the ring against a fighter who had an unfair advantage from the very beginning.
Have a bad beef, or there's gonna be tea, or it's gonna be them burritos that's been eating in Mexico. Fucking mug.
Johnny Nelson also weighed in on the controversy and gave a serious warning about PED use in boxing. While he admitted drugs do not magically improve boxing skill, he stressed that fighters can still seriously hurt or even kill somebody inside the ring if they compete with unnatural advantages. After seeing the punishment Fabio Wardley absorbed against Daniel Dubois, those comments have now hit even harder with fans across the boxing world.
And hit AJ, knocked him out, killed him. God forbid if that happened. And this guy's on gear, he's found out he's on gear. What I'm saying is that they now need to talk about legal action outside of boxing to say, if you take this, you are legally going to be prosecuted because you could kill somebody.
Wade Plemons then highlighted just how brutal the Fabio Wardley fight really was. He praised Fabio Wardley for surviving devastating shots that would have finished most heavyweights, even comparing the punches to the ones that dropped Anthony Joshua. But after the PED allegation surfaced against Daniel Dubois, many fans are now looking back at that punishment differently and wondering whether Fabio Wardley was put through something far more dangerous than anyone realized that night.
I mean, this got to a point where Fabio is stumbling around. He's not even aware of his surroundings, it doesn't look like. The doctors are checking on him round after round. And, you know, I said Daniel had big stones to get off the canvas. Fabio Wardley's got a chin of iron because he ate some absolute nukes. Shots that put Anthony Joshua on the floor from Daniel Dubois and probably would have put a lesser man in the hospital that night. I mean, I'm sure Fabio's in the hospital now, but stretcher job.
Dominic Ingle gave an honest and emotional assessment of Fabio Wardley's future after the brutal battle with Daniel Dubois. While he praised Fabio Wardley's journey and toughness, he questioned whether the damage taken in recent fights may have permanently affected his career. Still, many fans believe Fabio Wardley deserves huge respect for stepping into dangerous fights and giving everything he had, especially now with serious PED allegations hanging over Daniel Dubois after that punishing performance inside the ring.
Slight difference, fighting a world champion, a legitimate world champion for a title, and beating a world champion who's already a world champion. And Fabio Wardley hasn't beat a current world champion to be the champion, has he?
Josie Park has been a champion.
Yeah, but he wasn't the champion, right? So
Dave Coldwell tried to take a more balanced approach while discussing Daniel Dubois and the failed PED test controversy. He pointed out that only one sample reportedly tested positive and admitted that nobody fully knows the complete story yet. But at the same time, he made it clear that the only confirmed fact right now is that Daniel Dubois failed a drug test. That alone has already damaged public trust and sparked massive concern from fans who watched Fabio Wardley absorb frightening punishment during their fight.
Is there a perfect reason why it's a tiny molecule, that tiny trace that's been left? That's why it got contaminated. One sample was tested positive, and then Connor's cheated. I don't know, because we only know the facts are he's failed 2 drug tests. That's the only fact.
Carl Frock believes Fabio Wardley abandoned his boxing fundamentals during the Daniel Dubois fight and became too focused on landing one massive shot. Frock criticized Fabio Wardley's attacking approach and questioned the tactics coming from the corner, but he also made it clear that this should not be the end of Fabio Wardley's career. Many fans actually agree that Fabio Wardley showed unbelievable courage that night, especially considering the serious controversy now surrounding Daniel Dubois and the failed PED allegations after the fight.
Fabio Wardley neglected all of his little bit of boxing skill, what he's learned over the white collar and through the fights that he's been involved in. I mean, he's had a fantastic career, and I don't think this is the end of Fabio Wardley at all, but he showed that he's a bit naive and a bit green. Like I said, his attacks were very crude. I don't know what Ben Davison should have been telling him. Stop throwing that overhand right from out of range. He's looking for the knockout punch. He's not even got his feet in range.
Barry McGuigan sounded deeply concerned while discussing Fabio Wardley's condition after the Daniel Dubois war. He even admitted that if he were in Fabio Wardley's position, he would seriously consider retiring from boxing altogether because of the punishment absorbed in that fight. Those comments became even more shocking once the PED controversy surrounding Daniel Dubois exploded online. Many fans are now questioning whether Fabio Wardley took damage against an opponent who may not have been competing on a completely level playing field.
Rematch, but I don't think he should fight. I genuinely don't think he should take that rematch. I think that's too dangerous. I genuinely think he took way too much punishment, and that was so severe. If I were him, I'd never fight again.
Don Charles strongly defended Daniel Dubois and praised him for silencing critics after the Fabio Wardley fight. He claimed nobody can now question Daniel Dubois' heart or toughness inside the ring, and even predicted bigger achievements in the future. But despite the praise from his trainer, the failed PED allegations have completely changed the public conversation around Daniel Dubois. Instead of celebrating the performance, many fans are now debating whether that dominant victory over Fabio Wardley should even be trusted at all.
Nobody could ever question this young man again. Yeah? All that quitting nonsense. Nobody will ever question him again.
Two-time heavyweight champion of the world under you.
It sounds good, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds great.
There's more to come. We were in there with a very dangerous fighter in the name of Fabio Wardley. He should be proud of himself.
Buddy McGirt believes the early knockdown completely changed Fabio Wardley's mentality during the fight with Daniel Dubois. According to him, Fabio Wardley became too focused on finding one big shot instead of sticking behind his jab and boxing smart. Still, despite the mistakes, Buddy McGirt praised Fabio Wardley's courage and heart throughout the brutal contest, and even said a rematch should happen in the future. But after the failed PED allegations against Daniel Dubois surfaced, many fans now believe a second fight would only make sense if the entire controversy is fully investigated first, because the questions surrounding the performance are simply too serious to ignore now.
Hell of a fight. I think the worst thing that happened was that knockdown in the first round. After that, Wardley was just looking for that right hand. No jabs, no defense, no left hook. Sorry, meat and chicken. You know what I mean? But it was a hell of a fight. He showed the heart of a champion, and I think there should be a rematch.
Johnny Nelson broke down Fabio Wardley's performance in detail and admitted that things were actually going well early in the fight against Daniel Dubois. Fabio Wardley was boxing sharply behind the jab, moving well and landing strong shots of his own. But according to Nelson, the fight changed once fatigue and punishment started to build because Fabio Wardley had no backup strategy once the original game plan stopped working. Even then, fans have defended Fabio Wardley heavily online because they believe he showed unbelievable bravery against a dangerous heavyweight who is now facing major PED allegations after the fight. That has made many people look at Fabio Wardley's performance with even more respect than before.
That's the first half of the fight, he kept his shape. You know, the jabs were working, dominating head to body, kept slinging that big right hand over the top. Now and again, he'd whip it up the middle. He had good feet for a big guy, good feet. And I thought, you look the part. But then, there was no plan B that he could rely on if that didn't work. And you saw from round 6, he lost his shape. The shape had gone because there was no plan B. You know, when he get hit, it was like he completely turned. And trust me, this boy's got no coward in.
Derek Chisora did not hold back while reacting to Fabio Wardley's approach against Daniel Dubois. Chisora criticized Fabio Wardley for abandoning the basics and searching too much for power shots instead of using his jab and movement. He even questioned whether Fabio Wardley prepared properly for such a massive heavyweight clash. But despite all the criticism, many boxing fans still feel Fabio Wardley deserves credit for surviving the kind of punishment that would have stopped most fighters. And now with Daniel Dubois facing heavy backlash over the failed PED allegations, some people believe Fabio Wardley may have been fighting under far more dangerous circumstances than anyone realized at the time.
Fabio was not ready for boxing. He was no jab, nothing, looking for power shots. It's like he didn't train. He was busy commentating. Little bastard. He was supposed to fucking train in the gym. How many jabs did Fabio chuck? Last jab, he didn't chuck no jabs. He didn't do anything with...
Dominic Ingle called the Fabio Wardley and Daniel Dubois fight one of the best heavyweight battles he has ever watched. He praised Fabio Wardley's toughness and determination, especially the way he kept fighting despite looking exhausted and badly hurt at several moments during the contest. Ingle also admitted Daniel Dubois stayed disciplined and followed the game plan well under pressure. But after the failed PED controversy exploded online, many fans have struggled to celebrate the fight the same way anymore. Instead, the conversation has shifted toward whether Fabio Wardley was forced to endure unnecessary punishment against an opponent who may not have been fully clean going into the bout.
I'll tell you what, it's one of the best fights I've ever seen. One of the best fights. Fair play to Fabio Wardley. What a hard man he is. He didn't want to quit. His corner didn't pull him out. And Daniel Dubois kept his composure. He kept his composure, stuck to the plan. He started to get a bit tired himself. He realised that Wardley has still got something in the tank. He kept pulling it out of the bag. He looked dead on his feet. But what a fight that...
David Adeli believes Daniel Dubois gained confidence as the fight went on because his jab kept finding the target against Fabio Wardley. He explained that every time Fabio Wardley tried to load up with power shots, Daniel Dubois was able to break his rhythm with straight jabs and gradually wear him down over the rounds. Adeli's breakdown paints a picture of a fighter growing stronger and more comfortable as the battle continued. However, the failed PED allegations have now placed a massive cloud over that performance. Many fans are questioning whether Daniel Dubois' physical dominance and relentless pressure were truly natural, especially considering the frightening damage Fabio Wardley absorbed during the fight. At this point, the entire boxing world is divided over Daniel Dubois and the failed PED allegations after the brutal Fabio Wardley fight. Some fans still believe Daniel Dubois deserves the benefit of the doubt until every detail is confirmed, while others feel the damage done to Fabio Wardley inside that ring was far too serious to ignore. What makes this situation even more explosive is the number of respected boxing voices now speaking out and questioning everything surrounding the fight. Meanwhile, Fabio Wardley has earned massive respect from fans for showing unbelievable heart and toughness during one of the most punishing heavyweight battles in recent memory. But now the biggest question remains whether this controversy will permanently damage Daniel Dubois' reputation and legacy moving forward. If the allegations are proven true, the backlash could become one of the biggest scandals boxing has seen in years. But if Daniel Dubois clears his name, then the pressure will shift back onto the critics who rush to judge him. Do you think Daniel Dubois deserves another chance, or should boxing ban fighters involved in PED controversies for life? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more boxing updates every single week.